We are officially live. So good to see everyone that's here in the chat. Just popping on. Usually, I get a chance to read everything first, but it's been such a crazy day. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit for you here. Um, I've been talking all day. I've been preparing all day. I've been moving a lot of things around, taking care of a lot of details in preparation for the launch of the Law of Attraction VIP Academy. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in this live, but I did want to open with official news for you. First time I'm announcing this in a public forum. The date to launch the Law of Attraction VIP Academy has officially been set. It's going to be this Friday, October 24th, 2025. So, no more wondering, like, is it ready? When's it ready? When's it going to happen? What's going to happen? That is going to be the launch date. However, and I didn't have a chance to put it into the chat yet, but if you go to lawofattractionvip.com or you go to andrewcap.com and click the link that talks about the Law of Attraction VIP, there's a link where you can get on the special announcement list, and I'm going to give the link to join one day early. So for anyone that gets on that early release VIP email list, you're going to get the link to join on Thursday instead of on Friday. And then obviously I'll be here on Friday. I'll do another YouTube live, Manifest Friday free for all. I'm hoping I'll give you a tour of the academy on Friday, and whatever else happens. You could probably tell, like, while I'm putting a lot of work into this, I'm trying not to be too specific or true stringent on how it plays out. I'm following the energy. I'm following how people are responding to it and the questions they're asking and all those cool sorts of things. So, get on the list, lawofattractionvip.com or andrewcap.com, and you click on the Law of Attraction VIP Academy little icon there. Get yourself there. And the reason this is important, and I'll talk about what this is specifically later on in this live, but you're going to be one of the first three, you're going to want to be one of the first 300 members because they get a special perk that nobody else will ever get. Z Paul, thank you so much. You always announce your presence with such wonderful authority, and it's always so wonderful to see you. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who's here so far. So you can see I'm still holding up my voice, seeing what I can here. But before we really get into more details about the Law of Attraction VIP Academy, the topic of tonight, I forgot the actual title I put, but it's basically around the question of taking action on your pathway to manifestation. Like when you're manifesting what you want, do you take action? If so, how much or how little? When, why, how? How does that come into play? Because I know a lot of people, they read about the law of attraction or they learn about the law of attraction, they see videos about the law of attraction, whatever it might be. For some reason, the way the content and the way the concept is presented, it often either directly or more often than not, indirectly, almost hints for some reason that there is no action required on your part. And I think part of the reason for that, thank you, Pam. I'll definitely do that. I'm already having honey. Part of the reason for that is because there is an aspect to this where you don't have to take action. There is an incredible power just surrounding you. This web of energy, this web of everything that surrounds you that can move things around, that can move people around and circumstances and situations and literally obliterate obstacles in your path without you specifically having to do anything. And I think because that's such a really amazing thing to hear for the first time and obviously a thing to articulate to people, that the way it's presented and the way people interpret it is that, okay, cool. Now I get to just focus and visualize, and the universe is going to handle everything for me. And that's true and not true at the same time. And what I mean by that is you're here in a three-dimensional physical space reality. You are here interacting with everything around you on a physical level. Of course, there is going to be an aspect of action. There's going to be an element of you consciously taking action, consciously doing things, consciously going into motion, getting into motion in order to get what you want. And the key to this, the key to, I guess, doing it the right way, the key to knowing when to act or not to act is really just about asking yourself, what are you in control of? What is within your sphere of control right now in this moment? I've said it before. Me being a native New Yorker, I grew up like a Yankees fan, and I was always a big fan of Derek Jeter. And the player, I don't know the person. Maybe I like him, maybe I wouldn't. But the thing about Derek Jeter, the player, that really resonated with me was he was so successful and he was so clutch because he only worried about what he was within control of, what he was in control. Like he was a shortstop. He could not control if they caught the ball in the outfield. He could not control if the other team was hitting or not hitting. He couldn't control when his other teammates whether they were hitting or not hitting. He could only control his time at the plate and his time when he's fielding the ball and in his time when he's running the bases. And a really relevant thing here, he could only control how he prepared ahead of time. Now, I don't think, based on what I know about him, he knows anything about the law of attraction, or if he does, that he cares. But I will tell you this: if he did know about it, what it was, and he was aware of it, he certainly didn't treat the universe as this servant who was going to hand him clutch hits on a silver platter. He worked, he practiced, he was in the gym, he was taking batting practice, he was fielding practice, he was doing all the things that he needed to do that were within his control so that he was better prepared to play the game. Now, how does that line up with you? Well, you're not out here probably trying to win a Super Bowl. You're not trying to manifest a World Series ring or, attract an NBA championship. You're not, maybe I do have a world-class athlete or a professional athlete in the audience right now, but most of you are not. So you're not thinking about batting practice, or you're not thinking about, working out in the gym so that your body is in better shape. How does this apply to you? Well, let's take a common example that I know a lot of people are trying to manifest, whether it's an improvement in their business or an improvement in their career. Let's chunk down and talk about getting a promotion, right? Strategically speaking, from a law of attraction standpoint, from a manifestational standpoint, it would obviously be a really wise thing based on what we know about this content, based on what we know about how the universe operates, that if you want a promotion, you are going to do manifesting methods every single day that take you in the direction of that. And what I mean by that is you are going to visualize what it really means to have a promotion. You're going to visualize what it feels like. You're going to visualize the circumstances, the details, the way things might play out. You're going to imbue your psychology and your consciousness and your energy and your frequency and your vibration with those kinds of ideas. You're going to do gratitude exercises or methods where you are grateful for new aspects of what that promotion represents. You're going to be grateful for the pay raise. You're going to be grateful for the new corner office. You're going to be grateful for whatever it is that's represented in what that promotion would mean to you. Obviously, the bigger bank balance, maybe more flexible hours at work, some kind of improvement in the situation that may just be financial or maybe a whole other bunch of other things for you. So you're going to focus on that. Awesome. That's what you should be doing, right? But I think where people kind of get it wrong, or where people, make a mistake or take themselves in the wrong direction, is they get so into that daily work of visualizing, of feeling grateful, or maybe scripting, whatever it might be. They forget that they need to be a contributing factor in this process to not only reinforce their confidence, which then bolsters their vibrational signal and gets them what they want faster, but they basically need to prepare the way and lead the way from their end while the universe is doing their thing. So if you're somebody that wants a promotion at work, yes, you want to focus on the details of what that promotion would entail. But by that same token, you want to research, okay, let me learn about negotiation, about salary negotiation. Let me learn about what that conversation might be like when it's time to have my quarterly or my yearly review, so that I'm better prepared in the moment to do what I need to do in order to help manifest that. As long as the universe is doing the part that I can't handle, let me do the part that I can. Let me show respect and courtesy to the effort of the universe and everything around me by doing my part in any way, shape, or form that I can. Like for me, if I were doing a 9 to 5 right now and I wanted a promotion, I would be like researching all over like what is actually involved, not only like at the tail end, but how do those conversations go? Like if I'm getting a job for the first time, for example, I've already said, okay, this job, there needs to be promotions ahead of time. How do I prepare for that? What do I do? Well, I'd say this my first week at that new job, or really the time when I'm interviewing for the new job, I would ask the people that are interviewing me, what are the benchmarks that are needed or expected in order to advance? If I wanted to raise my salary by 15% over the next 6 months, what to you, person who's interviewing me, who's about to hire me, what to you would justify that? In what way can I or anybody contribute to the organization that's going to make that something that you would be happy to give them? In other words, being proactive, but also doing the research of what those steps of being proactive might actually be. This is something that really fits in with, your work in terms of a career, in terms of a business, in terms of your finances and how maybe you want to invest, in terms of your love life or friendships and how you want to prepare for current how you want to improve current relationships or prepare for new ones. In what ways can you improve yourself that would make you a more attractive mate for a potential person that you are seeking, while simultaneously visualizing what that person will mean to you, what that kind of life will mean to you, what it actually would be like to hold hands or to go to events or to spend time together with that person you love. Besides the visualization portion, besides putting that part out there, and feeding your consciousness those images, which are going to give you the right direction to take. What can you do that you already know about right now that's going to bolster the impact of that? That's going to get you there faster. That's going to get you better. That's going to get you there more comfortably. I think there's someone on this chat right now who's engaged in planning a wedding, I think. And maybe they want to manifest like this dream wedding. Okay, awesome. Visualize what those details are, but by that same token, I imagine or hope that you're doing research of, what are what are the best prices for the right types of resources for the right types of people that are going to give you the wedding that you want. Like what research have you done into a florist or into, a caterer, into a band or a DJ or whatever it might be, into a venue? In what way have you expanded your network? So, it's really funny because people, they'll be like, "Wait a second, this isn't the law of attraction. This isn't manifestation." It's like, well, yes, it is. Manifestation is a cooperation between you and the universe. And there's no set minimum or maximum requirement on your specific energy, on your specific contribution to the process, because everything that you want to manifest is different in some way. Everything that you want to manifest requires a different level of your cooperation and your contribution, but also everything that you want to manifest in this moment, which evolves over time, is different in terms of the amount of influence you have based on the activity and action that you can actually take. Again, someone, they want to, they want to improve their business, right? Well, if it's day one of their business, well, okay, that means that they can't really work on the scaling part of things yet. They can't take action in by way of scaling because they haven't even established their business yet. They haven't ensured that their product is dialed in, and that they understand their avatar and they understand their customer and they understand how to reach them. They've got the marketing all set, and they've got their products completed or their services ready. They've got to handle that part before they do the scaling. Whereas someone that's going along in business and they are enjoying some success and things are going in the right direction, well, that now they have a point of agency and a point of potency where they can contribute to the scaling of their business. Again, there's no limits or restrictions here. And this is really a good thing because this isn't some annoying chore or requirement that you have to deal with. this is an opportunity. This is your opportunity that you were brought here for, to engage cooperatively with the universe, to engage from your physical standpoint and your tangible standpoint, to mix and match and cooperate with the intangible energy that is aligning the other things up for you that you don't have an instant control of. It's interesting. Like everyone, I'm sure everyone, for the most part, you either know about LinkedIn or you're on it. And LinkedIn's interesting because they have, first degree connections and secondary connections and third degree connections. These are measures. These are measurements of influence. If you want something to get done, like, and you're, if you're starting a new business, and you want to reach out to prospects and get new clients, you're going to have more success with those first degree acquaintances or connections on LinkedIn because they know you. They understand who you are. You're not a complete stranger. Whereas when you reach to out to the second degree people, they could at least look on their screen and like, oh, this Mike guy's reaching out and he knows Tammy. Okay, well, one, there's a little bit more trust here, but now also I can reach out to Tammy and I can say, hey, what do you know about this person? Are they legitimate? Are they on the level? Or did they just connection request you and you were just being nice? Like, what do you know about them? There are measures of influence. You want to think about the action that you take and the action that you can take in these same degrees. There is a third degree level of control and influence that you're going to have to lean more in the direction with the universe, whereas you still might take action in that direction, letting you will contact that third degree person, knowing that at some point there's going to have to be an element on the outside with that's not within your control that's going to inspire them to answer you or move in the right direction. But that doesn't stop you from being the person that reaches out first. These are all the measures, these are all the levels that you always want to consider as you do this. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are certain messages or emails or questions that I get from people on a regular basis. And this whole question of action it really is a recurring theme. And people, they really seem to struggle with it for some reason. Again, I think the reason being is they're so used to this new paradigm of the universe is going to do everything for me, forgetting and neglecting the idea that they're part of this process. And the ironic thing is the more that they engage in the process, again, stuff that's within their control, from a mindset of abundance, not a perspective of lack, but a mindset of abundance, the more they lean in for that, the more they are, really automatically adjusting their vibrational frequency as a stronger beacon, as a more influential set point for the universe to notice and start moving things in that direction for them. Truly, your inspired action from a mindset of abundance is this tangible thing that you're doing is altering in a positive way your intangible vibrational frequency. It's a wonderful thing to consider when you really think about it. And again, it's how we view these things that impact how we approach them, that impact how things kind of come back to us and get attracted to us. And there are our results and our outcomes and our events and all the things that we want. So as you hear me say this, if there's something that you've been wanting for a while and you're thinking yourself, oh, I can't quite get the universe to hear my vibration the right way. I can't quite get my frequency. Doesn't feel like my frequency's there. Like as you're doing that, you're like, how do I get the universe to like notice me? How do I get my vibration there? Like, what do I do? You do two things. One, you don't specifically worry about that while simultaneously just engaging in the methods and making sure that you're enjoying them and that you're focusing on what you want rather than focusing on what you don't want. And then two, to bolster that, you take any action that feels good, that's possible, that's reasonable in that direction because it'll feel better. I I've been experimenting with a new diet since the first of September. I mean, August 31st was like my last day where I was just like eating whatever I wanted, and I switched things up to a new diet. It was my choice, and I stuck to that from September 1st through September 30th. I did not miss a day. I wanted to challenge myself to do a whole month of this new diet, cutting out certain things just to see how my body would respond. And my body responded really well. And it became a thing where I started giving myself cheat days just so my body would would be used to even like these foods that I've gone away for. So that way, like for pasta, and I don't recommend this for you. You do whatever you want for your diet, but I've cut out pasta for the most part. But I'll have pasta once every 3 or 4 weeks, so that anytime I'm out socially and pasta is like a food there, it's not going to like shock my body. It's not going to be a shock to the system. So I'm having pasta or bread or whatever these cheat things here or there. And I've noticed when I cheat, my weight goes up for 2 days. It doesn't just go up the next day, it goes up again the following day, even though I've already stopped the cheating part. Here's the interesting thing. Yesterday, I went and I had lunch with a friend, and then we kind of like we went old school. Like, here we are like men in our 40s, and we went to the park and we were like throwing footballs and like just whatever, like enjoying the weather, enjoying the autumn weather. So I had all this food, like cheat food that I wasn't supposed to have. And then I go to the park and I'm throwing a football around for a few hours. And I noticed today when I weigh myself, I only gained like 0.2 pounds. It was a very small thing. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What's different about this cheat meal? The difference was physical activity. I've been so busy preparing the Law of Attraction VIP Academy for the past, I don't know, like 8 weeks now. Even though I've been eating better, I've not been working out. Yesterday, I was taking physical activity and burning calories so that this result, this thing that was within my control to do, that I've been able to do this whole time, I did it by happenstance yesterday and I saw the result. This is an example of what I'm talking about. This whole time, I could eat better, I could do something nutritionally, and I could do something with my fitness. I've only been doing the nutrition part except for yesterday, but I got this really good proof positive that when I do the fitness part also, there is a positive result there as long as it feels good to me. If I hate the fitness part, well, that's not going to work out. If I hate the nutrition part, I'm very strategic in making sure I still enjoy the foods that I'm having. I make sure that I enjoy these because that's how I'm going to stick with it. If I don't like it, that's a whole different thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, what can you do? What's within your measure of control that feels abundant, that feels good, that feels right? Those are the kinds of things that you want to focus on. As Zipa says, right thought leads to right action. This is all about perspective. This is all about strategically leveraging your own mindset and your own paradigm of the world around you in a way that's going to lead you in that direction to get you what you want. Now, can the universe just give you what you want? I mean, I've seen people report where they would, because we're talking about like me, like losing weight. I remember one distinct post by someone, and take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to believe what she said. She'd mentioned that she lost like 15 pounds in 1 week, and the only thing she changed was like loving and appreciating herself and her body more. Okay, I buy that. That's a biochemistry and an energetic vibration shift that you're making that's leaving room for that kind of thing where if, and again, I'm not a doctor here, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but if your body's holding on to stuck emotions, it's holding on to extra cumbersome whatever it might be, letting that go, I've seen it lead to in a good direction. Me, I'm pretty happy with myself already, so I don't kind of have that as a fallback. Now I have the nutrition and the fitness. But what I'm saying is here for her, technically speaking, it was just the universe. She did not take any specific action like changing the food that she was eating or changing her fitness routine. Those kinds of things happen also. All I'm saying is don't leave it just to that when it's within your ability to do more, because by knowing you can actually do something physically and refusing to do it, you are inadvertently reinforcing the consciousness and the vibration that you're not really even invested in this. No matter what you want the universe to give you, that there's a lack of investment there that you're not doing it. In any case, I know I'm harping on this a little bit, but I really want to get this idea in your mind. I want to get you focused in this direction that even the smallest of action, it doesn't have to be a difficult thing. In fact, hopefully it's not a difficult thing. It doesn't have to be a complicated thing. It doesn't have to be something that impacts you in a negative way or it's too much to keep track of. It could be anything big or small. But just give yourself permission to kind of go in that direction and acknowledge that action can and actually should be a part of this manifestation process when and where appropriate, when and where relevant for you. Whatever you're doing, whether it's money, relationships, or health, there's a part that you lean on the universe for. There's a part where you just do the manifesting methods, obviously, but there's also a part where if you have any agency in and you have any influence over just moving in the direction of what you want. If you want to improve your business, yes, visualize to the universe, but do some research. Find mentors, learn from people that are doing it the right way. Same with a promotion, same with finding love, same with making more money, same with improving your health, whatever it might be. Do your part along with it. That's the main thing that I wanted to cover for you today. And again, you notice on these lives, I'm trying to cover like just really important stuff that on one hand is it's just so simple, it's so basic, but on the other hand, in its simplicity, in its banality, it's actually profound because these simple things that seem so surface level and they don't really seem like there's something like, over the top about them or there's no wow factor to them, these are actually the difference makers. These are the things that make all of the difference and get you all the way across the finish line. So, with that in mind, I promised you details. Swinging back before we end this live, just a little more about the Law of Attraction VIP Academy. For those that don't know about it, I'm going to read off a quick list. Again, the whole point of the Academy is that people have been asking me for years, really for like this hub or this place where as a community they can congregate, they can share wins, they can learn from each other, they could share strategies. They're surrounded by people that get them. There's one person on the stream, if I remember correctly, whose spouse just isn't on board with the law of attraction, and that's fine. But I imagine for this kind of person, it would be really fun if their spouse isn't on board for them to have a very easy, convenient place where people are on board with this and people can talk to this person about, methods and what they're doing and they can really be in each other's corner and all those different pieces. And because people were asking me for that, I really wanted to take it up to a next level. I wanted people to be able to interact with me directly on live calls. This is awesome, but being able to speak back and forth, there's another level to that. I want them to learn from whatever level of content that I have out there. I want them to be able to discover any new methods that I have and have it organized in a way where you don't necessarily have to search YouTube videos or get emails, but you just have this hub where anytime there's a new method, it gets updated and people find out about it. I wanted an easy way for people to track and share their wins. Again, I want people to be able to engage with other members. I wanted them to have member exclusive trainings where they can go into. I want them to have access to all the content, including these short mini courses, because a big thing about people doing these manifesting methods or doing these programs, even though I chunk them down into small day by day things, a lot of people, believe it or not, they don't want to make a 90-day investment in gravity of the cosmos, even though it is only a few minutes a day. And even though it has so much power, people they don't want to start something where it's like, oh, there's 90 sessions in there. So, okay, let me give them mini courses. But also I want people to have, contests, challenges, things that could drive them forward, things that can keep them on point. I think the hardest thing in all this is making sure that this stays fun and that there's always almost like a northern star for people to kind of lean in the direction of to make sure that they're doing these manifesting methods for just a few minutes a day. And again, a like-minded community of individuals who understand this, who are in your corner the way you're in their corner, who are taking the same courses, using the same content, using the same methods. There is a power to that. And that's really what I've created here. And honestly, I was very on the fence when I started this, because I know I've got to expend a lot of time and energy and be there pretty much probably every day. Be there enough where I'm helping steer the ship and making sure people are getting their money's worth. Speaking of which, notice I say money, right? There will be a fee on this, and I would hope it's reasonable, but let's talk about what the price is going to be. Context. I've always tried to keep my programs really affordable, especially with, the economy the past couple of years and all these different things. And there comes a point where that's got to end. At least if I'm giving people lifetime access, I've got to price it at really its worth. I've got to respect the material and the content. But looking around, you see these other law of attraction people, whatever, whether they're legit or not, they'll have 6 to 8 week programs, and those programs that go 6 to 8 weeks, they'll cost $5,000, $8,000, and people pay, people buy them. Which, okay, I mean, I personally don't want to charge $8,000 for an 8 week program. That's just me. But if someone's charging that and someone's paying for it and they're getting their money worth, awesome. I'm not one to judge. But then I'm looking at my own content and I'm actually looking at the pricing and looking at the value and looking at all these pieces. I actually ran the numbers, and what I have in the Law of Attraction VIP Academy technically exceeds a value of $9,341. I actually added up because I was curious about it. So we've got these programs that are charging $5,000 to $8,000. We've got my content in there that's over $9,000. We also have a situation where you'll notice that I don't really promote myself, for in-person calls with people. If people ask them if there's a special request, I'll do them. Depending on the situation, there's a price for law of attraction, there's a price for marketing and things like that. My fee for about an hour will be $500 to $1,000. Okay, so let's think about this. We got $5,000 to $8,000 in for other people. We've got $9,000 in content value. We've got calls with me that would cost $500 to $1,000. The original concept for this thing is a mastermind model where people are really like they're on these calls on a regular basis, and it was going to be a really intimate mastermind with no more than 50 people to start with, to see how that works before expanding and opening it up to a much wider list of people. On that model, given all these prices, my initial price point is $497 a month. But I'm not gonna charge you that. Don't worry. Again, I'm not gonna charge that much because I understand that's not really sustainable for you, but also I understand that the model is too limiting if I only have 50 people in there. Even though there's still gonna be that live cold aspect and there's gonna be a level of energy of mastermind in there, I don't wanna charge you $497 a month. So, I brought the price down to 197, $197 a month, and it feels good. It feels right. And I'm actually looking at all the other schools and the other programs like around manifestation, law of attraction, things like that on this platform where I'm building this. And it lines up. But I'm a stickler for making sure people don't overextend themselves. And I think there are people that can do this. They can get away with this. They could afford it. But I think there's going to be people that will inadvertently overextend themselves on their credit card for at least a couple of months trying to lean in and do this. And while I believe it's worth more than 197 a month, I don't want to create a price like that, especially initially, where people put themselves in that position. So I settled on $97 a month, lower than all the like a bunch of these other things that are going on. Like one of them I saw was like 397. So like that person's 397, and I kind of see what they're doing. And I, to be egotistical, I think mine's better. I think 97 a month is more than fair, but I didn't want any excuses for anybody on this. So I kind of cut it in half. So the official price of the Law of Attraction VIP Academy is going to be $49 a month, but it's not going to be $49 a month this week. It's going to build towards $49 a month. And what I want to do, because I know there's a lot of people in here that, that have been so supportive and so in my corner and so behind me and just have been so great. And I'm always a big guy. Like, again, I was talking about action. This whole thing's about action. I'm big on people taking action in, in support of what they want, investing their own time and energy and whatever else in themselves and making that kind of energetic statement and commitment to themselves and to the universe. I'm a big proponent of that. So I had this concept someone was talking to me about. It's a founding members price. Founding members, the first 300 members of the Law of Attraction VIP Academy are going to be paying a lot less than $49 a month. This Friday on my live, I will officially announce what that price is. But again, the people that are on the list to get an early alert, they're technically going to find out on Thursday because they're going to get emailed first about it for their chance to dive in and become a member. So just know right now, we started at $497. We're down to below $49 a month for the first 300 founding members of this group. Um, you'll see what the price is. Hopefully you'll see that it's more than fair. And if it's not for you, I'm still doing YouTube lives. However, there's one extra piece that I've got going on for you here. I don't like the idea of saying, pay me and like it, and hopefully this will just work out and you'll be happy with it. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up a thing where there is a 7-day free trial. So you try it for 7 days, and if you don't like it, you quit, you cancel, and if you do like it, you stick around. So no one can say that I didn't give them an opportunity on this. No one can say that I didn't give them the chance to try it and, kick the tires, look under the hood, see what's what. There's going to be a 7-day trial, free trial for everyone. You can try all the programs. You can check out the community, really engage with this process. So again, the official launch is going to be on Friday, where I'll give you the official lower price. And either way, whether it's Thursday or Friday, you're going to get a free 7-day trial. And again, people that want to sign up, go to lawofattractionvip.com. You can get yourself on the early mailing list where I'm just going to email you when it's ready for you. And if that was too long to hear and type out, just go to andrewkap.com, KAP, Andrew Cap, and you'll see an icon for the Law of Attraction VIP Academy. You'll click on it and it'll let you sign up for the email alert. So whether it's Thursday or Friday, we are just about at the finish line. And that's all I got for you. I'm going to try to prepare something a lot really exciting for Friday. Again, Friday, I'm hoping to give you, well, I'll try my screen sharing software like live with the first time. So hopefully it won't be a botch. And I'll actually give you a tour of the academy, but I'll also cover some other stuff. Again, I want this to be in kind of like an open door for people to walk into and enjoy. But for people that aren't down with it, it's just not for them. I don't want them feeling like they're excluded. So we're going to cover some non-Law of Attraction VIP Academy stuff on Fridays live also. And again, I'm sticking with YouTube. I'm still doing this stuff. I'm just doing this other thing also because I think it's really a fun opportunity to be on live calls with people without charging them $500 to $1,000 and just working with them. And just the way on some of these lives I've done like guided manifesting methods, to do those like live in person with people where maybe they can also there'll be a cooperative component on this, and they'll be influencing the direction we take on the methods. And I don't know, there's just a different kind of interplay with someone live with you when they can speak to you and they can actually say it in the moment, where like for this is awesome. But obviously I'm in this frame of mind, and I'm not the biggest multitasker in the world, so there's comments coming in that I'm not reading. This other venue will take care of that. And again, I can't have one of those Facebook groups because Facebook, I've seen too much where people lose their communities over silly or non-reasons. And I'm just not going to put you or myself in that position. So this platform I'm using instead, it's going to be a website, it's going to be an app, it's going to be everything. So whether you're on a laptop or you're on a desktop or you're on a tablet, you're on a mobile phone, you're on any device, it's built for you to enjoy and to access it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, as always, for being here. Thank you for your support. Stay tuned for what's going to be a really big week. Again, don't do the 7-day trial. If you don't like it, just quit or cancel before your 7 days are up. But by diving in, you guarantee yourself that you're one of the first 300 or so people. And that's the sweet spot for the absolute best price. And just so we're clear, that price, which I'll be announcing on Friday, the way this system works is prices get grandfathered in, meaning when you get in at this price and then the next day I just raise the prices, your price doesn't go up. Whatever price you get in on, that's your price for life for as long as you're there. They actually, the system I use, even if I didn't want that, which I do, I'm so happy it does that. If I didn't want that, they wouldn't even allow me to change it. Their requirement is that it's is doing it. Don's asking, will you offer a one-time payment for a lifetime subscription? That's not a current thing right now, Don. Although if my math is right, I'm offering an annual thing, which will actually, I think you get 2 months free, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look because I said it a few days ago. So don't quote me on that, but I believe I set there's a monthly option and then there's an annual option, and the annual option gives you like I think 2 free months, I think. But there's no lifetime subscription for this as of now. If that changes, obviously I'll alert people. Um, but again, take the trial, try it, because better to get in and see what's what and see if you like it versus not finding out. But again, everything's grandfathered. So whatever you pay, I can never, as long as you're still a member, even if I wanted to, which I wouldn't want to, I can't raise the price on you. So again, very exciting stuff. For those that aren't with it, I'm going to still be here on YouTube, but big things are coming. Things to look forward to either way. Thank you everyone for sticking around. If anyone has questions about this, you can go to andrewcap.com and there's a contact section. So if I missed your comment here, I apologize. Email me. I will respond. I will reply and give you whatever answer about this. I was very lucky to see Don's question. I almost missed it entirely. You have a question, andrewcap.com. Go to the contact section. I will get back to you. You guys are awesome. Looking forward to either alerting you on Thursday or seeing you on the live stream on Friday.